Let's not forget that.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So guys, I'm not gonna lie, I posted a little bit of a controversial video called Behind the Grind of Playing in Church. And after posting this video, I got a plethora of comments from all you guys about, the monetary aspect, talking about money and different things like that. But then some comments that I was not expecting. Like, Travis, do you do clinics, at other churches? Or Travis, how do you run your local team at your own church? And so today I wanted to answer those in a day in the life style video. Now, to answer the first question, I do clinics at other churches. So if you're interested, feel free to drop an email here to this email right here, or you can DM me on Instagram at Dykes. Now, pretty much all the other questions about running my local team and different things that I do at my church are going to be answered with the rest of this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you on a Sunday with me and show you all the things that I normally do and how I run my team at my local church here in Nashville, Tennessee. So this is what today's schedule looks like. 8:15, we have our full team rehearsal. At 9:30, we have our pre-service meeting. At 10 o'clock, we have our Sunday school service. At 11 o'clock, we have our main service. And that usually lasts until about 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Then after that, I go to lunch for about an hour 15, and I've got to be back today at 2:15 for our quarterly band clinic. This clinic is going to last probably from like 2:15 to 6 p.m. or so. And then after that, I have to set up some video equipment for a video shoot that we're doing at the church the next day. Now, usually when I'm on my way to the church, I listen to all the songs. Even if I've already listened to them leading up into the day, I like to listen to them again so they're fresh in my mind. And I'm listening not only to my part, but I'm listening to other people's parts, especially drums, so I can remind them when I get to service what that part is. Now, another huge thing we've bred at my church is a culture of not learning songs on Sundays. Basically, what I've tried to do over the years is make sure everything's in PCO. The chart, the audio, the rehearsal track with their part higher, all these different things. So when they get to church on Sunday, they know their part. I've been a part of on staff at a lot of churches, and as churches grow, you don't gain more time, you lose time because there's more ministries coming up. There's other things happening, that people are going to want to be a part of. Instead of trying to ask more time out of people, we ask less time, but higher quality. We don't have any kind of rehearsals before Sunday. It's our first time playing this with everybody, but all the resources for how we do stuff is in PCO. And so I try to give the songs to them 2 weeks in advance, okay? 2 weeks in advance, so they can work and practice and be able to know their song for whatever Sunday that they are scheduled. If you really want to change the culture of your church, you have to do it gradually. Don't be like, all right, well, Travis said, we got to do this, blah, blah, blah. No, do it gradually. What will happen is that the culture will push out the people who are not supposed to be there and bring in the people who are supposed to be there. So now my normal setup at the church is I have a Hartkey amp that was already there at the church, and it's just easy to just go ahead and plug into that. I still use my API and my Diodario Tuner Plus always, and I use a vlog cable to record our services whenever I'm doing vlogs or anything for YouTube.
So for my audio from church, for my lives, I'm using the Merino Customs vlog cable where it's 1/4 inch on one end. And then on the other end, it splits off as an 1/8 inch for your headphones as an extension. And then the other end goes to like an iRig, which I'm using an iRig. And so what I do is I go the out on here, the headphone input on here. And then I send this to my iRig. I use the iRig Pro IO. It's a XLR and 1/4 inch input. And goes out to my phone, which is just like a little phone extension right there. I just plug in this one side to my iRig, and that sends audio to my phone, so I can just plug it right in to the bottom.
Now on a normal Sunday, I'm running tracks and loops for whatever songs that we are doing. But I'll be honest, our team didn't play with loops or tracks when I first got there. So this was not something normal that, they were used to. So we eventually, before, starting off and doing tracks and stuff like that, had to start off with just a loop or just click in the ears just to get our drummers on playing with a loop and a click. And then after we did that, we built it up to, okay, now we're gonna play it with Ableton. So if you have a team that doesn't know how to play with a loop or a track, start with a loop, because you can always bring it back, if you get off of it. But with the track, it's harder to bring it back when you get off of it. So just know, start with the loop before you get to a track. So I will say one huge tip that I've learned over the years is make sure if you have in-ears or if you have a monitor or whatever, make sure you have everybody and you can hear everybody in either your headphones or in your monitor.
Andrew, can you play a little bit? Okay, I just want to make sure. Let's make sure I had you up. Graceland, can I hear your tone on this one? Okay.
So what I always do is I make sure that all of the instruments around me are up, and if the guitar player is off, I can hear it and be like, hey, what's that part? Can you play that part again? Or if it's the keys player, be like, hey, can you play that chord again? And I actually can hear them.
3, 4.
Everybody's on that B flat, right?
Now, when people are playing with you and they're on the team, they're like, oh man, he's listening to what I'm playing. So what happens is that now they actually start to learn their part. And also as a leader, you need to learn how to communicate to your different band members. That's a part of your job, is because you want to help grow them. You don't want people to join your team and stay at the same level the entire time they're there. You want people to get on your team and grow to a higher level than what they thought they could.
So something to watch, Gary, on drums. Make sure you're leading us into the sections confidently. It's just having that confidence, like just knowing, like, even if I mess up the chop, I'm still leading it, playing it confidently. You know what I'm saying? Because the confidence kind of helps us stay kind of like, oh, okay, we know that we're going here. You know what I'm saying? Spencer, on organ, can you make sure you're switching that Leslie on when we get to those big moments?
Now, something I do at my church and something that I've really pushed at my church with the band specifically is learning the number system. The number system is so important with communication. When we get into spontaneous moments and different things like that in service, it always helps, because I could just call out, hey, go to the 4, hey, go to the 6, go to the 2, and you don't have to think about, hey, go to that, A flat over C, or, you're not thinking about like things like that, because that can be confusing when you're in the moment. You just need to be able to say 4, like one syllable things, 6, 1, and that helps keep that spontaneous, worship feeling free and also very easy to follow.
6, 2, 1. Chorus right here. We're going to the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So over the years, I have been on staff at a few different churches as the music director. And something that I've learned is to always find one person to pour into a little bit more so than the others. Someone who's really hard working, dedicated, has great work ethic, even if they're not the best musician or anything like that, pour into someone who can be your assistant.
We got Joseph Morden. He handles all the tracks. He handles like kind of helping with our transitions and different things like that. And just kind of being my right hand when I can't be there for everything. So that Joseph is the guy that handles all that. And he also plays keys for us and bass and drums, and he does everything. Pretty much a utility guy. But yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy.
When we first met and I first came to church, I literally knew as soon as I got asked to be on the team, I was like, this guy is going to be my assistant because he has incredible work ethic. He is an incredible musician. And honestly, you don't have to choose your assistant because they're a great musician. It's really the work ethic and just the personality and just how if they're a grower, a person that wants to learn. When I first started working with Joseph, he did not know anything about Ableton. But what happened is that I started teaching him, I started pouring into him, and now he knows probably more than I do about Ableton. And so it's incredible how you could just take someone who has a little bit of work ethic and just a really great character, and you pour into them, and now you can start, delegating some of your workload so you can push in other areas of the team so your team can continuously grow.
Is everybody in place? Can everybody hear me?
So I know not every church has a talk back, or in-ears or things like that, but you could do this without this as well before the team gets up to their instruments. But something that I always do is I always try my best to lock us in before a service. When I get into these moments before service, I always make sure, hey guys, we practiced, we did all these things, but now let's worship. And so having these little moments like this with the team keeps them locked in to where when the service is going, they're not so focused on, oh my gosh, I made a mistake, or oh my gosh, I did this, or whatever it is. They're focused on what's happening in the moment.
Let's just try today. There's a lot of energetic, moving stuff today, and let's just try to make sure we are leading in worship as we're playing. If there's ever a moment like drum break or anything, make sure you take a moment to lift your hand, worship, really engage with the service today, because even though we're not singing, we are still worship leaders. All right, here we go. We got 10 seconds. It's on right here.
Now, speaking of being present in the moment, there was a moment in this particular service. I was so locked in, on Ableton, directing the band. We got to the end of a song and our worship leader looked back at me and was like, hey, let's go back to the bridge. And I was like, hold on, why are we going back into the bridge? And then I looked up and I see people praying in the altar. There's people just crying. And I was like, oh, wow. So the service just shifted a little bit. And so it's like, okay, well, we need to facilitate this moment. So then after I knew that, I knew where we were going. Sometimes you get so focused on what's happening, what's the norm for your service, that you forget to actually look up and see what's happening in the moment.
All the earth.
All the Now, one huge thing that we work on and try to be really good at is transitions at our church, going from song to song, going from, song into whoever's speaking, different things like that. Because the presentation of what you're doing is very, very, very important. And at our church, that is something, especially with our team, that we try to do. And there's two types of transitions that we do. One is a musical transition where the band leads it. And then another one is the worship leader transition when the worship leader leads it. The whole point of transitions is to make things flow seamlessly. So it doesn't matter, if it's exactly the way that I just said, you can find your other ways of doing this to be seamless as well. So one of the main things we do at our morning rehearsal is practice transitions more than just learning our part. Because a big part of the service is transitional moments.
Hey, right here. Be watching me. Here we go.
2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
So now the last part of this day, which is the longest part of this day, is what I call a quarterly clinic. This is something that we've newly implemented at our church. And basically what it is that we have 4 off-night clinics or rehearsals every year for the whole year, only 4, okay? And these are basically a time where we work on ourselves as musicians and not just learning songs. You're probably just thinking whoa, what do you mean? Only 4 a year? How does that even work? So basically what it is that most times we take out a bit of time, maybe a Saturday. Today we had to do Sunday because nobody's schedule would work. We have 4 Saturdays in a year and everybody is there for pretty much an entire Saturday. Okay, we teach the band, we teach the vocals, we go through practical aspects of like, hey, here's how to learn a number system, here's how you play chords for guitar players, vocal team, here's some vocal exercises you can do. So we go through and we train our team to be better musicians and not just, song players. And so what happens is that now our team is starting to grow as musicians grow in their ability. And so whenever we do have these songs, and we do, like on Sundays, we come together and we have to learn our parts, it's easier for them to learn, but they're also growing as musicians. So the other question you may ask is like, so how do you keep people accountable, during this whole thing? Now, what I've done is we have a few people who are key people that are helping keep an eye on these people and asking if they have questions, they could go to them, or, just checking in. And what I do before I even start this is I assess for an entire quarter, the different people on the team and the things that they can improve. And then when we get to the clinic, we talk through that, And so that is a big part of how this works. Is so now you're seeing that, and then if they don't improve, by that next clinic, then we're still going to be training on that. Okay, and so that's just kind of how it works right now with this. So today was kind of the first one we were doing with the band. So it was about 5 or so hours that we were all together, and we were teaching how to play organ, some of the settings on organ, how to play bass, some of the electric guitar things, like, hey, this is how you play these lines. You need to learn your notes on your guitar neck, or here's some triad chords and stuff. And we have them recorded and we send it out in a group message to the team so they can have it and be able to practice it and remember everything that was done at that clinic. So basically with quarterly rehearsals, the whole idea is that find ways to grow your team outside of just the songs. You could start off with just the songs and then go to another level. If they need to improve their chords, if they're a guitar player, if they're a bass player, they need to improve their rhythm or different things like that. Find ways of encouraging and helping your team. And if you don't know ways, reach out to other people who are worship leaders, and see what they are doing as well.
But you use this B preset right here for like your percussion. That's what it is. It's like a minor, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so the day has finally come to an end. It is 7:21 right now. I've been here since 8 a.m. Today I had the rehearsal, had a lot of meetings. Man, it was just a whirlwind of a day. And I also had to set up all this stuff for a video shoot that I'm doing here. And it was just, that's what I just finished up doing. And now I'm about to head home and try and get some rest and be back here tomorrow to do some work here with this video shoot at the church. But, this is just a part of, being a part of a ministry, being a part of a church, and honestly, just having leadership and taking responsibility. Because I will say, ministry is not always the most glamorous thing. And I will tell you, today there was a lot of work, but I really feel like it was very, very, very effective. So if you're interested or, want to eventually become a music director at a church, do it. But I will say there's a lot of work involved, but you have to remember what the purpose is behind it.
So if this video has helped you in any kind of way, feel free to drop a comment below. Let me know if any portion of this video has helped you, or also if you have any unique things at your church that you do that you don't think anybody else does. Let me know in the comments as well. If you're interested in booking a clinic with me, feel free to reach out to me at this email, puremusicschool@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on Instagram @tdykes. So if you guys want to support this channel, feel free to check out my website, travisdykesmusic.com, or check out any of the affiliate links in the description below, to where if you click and make a purchase through those links, it'll give this channel a kickback and we can bring you more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.